Alright, the sixth and final episode of Hawkeye, the finale, has been released. We can now watch the entire Clint Barton Christmas adventure on Disney+. So now I'm gonna talk about this finale, titled, So This Is Christmas. Yeah, like the John Lennon song. So as per usual, I'm gonna give you a spoiler warning. If you have not watched the entirety of Marvel Studios' Hawkeye at this point, you probably should not watch this video, because I will be ruining the last episode for you. Unless you don't care, in which case, hello, welcome. I'm flattered you like my face. Alright, so I've heard some mixed reactions to this finale, which honestly is not unlike other Marvel Studios Disney Plus finales that we've had this year. Like the ending to Falcon and Winter Soldier was also kind of divisive. I thought this finale was pretty good. There were some problems I saw for sure, but all in all, I still had a pretty good time with the show. Alright, so let's talk about the Kingpin. Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio returns from the Netflix Daredevil series as Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. And right when he sits down with Eleanor, I was like, this is the Kingpin I remember from the Netflix Daredevil series. He talks in the exact same way, where he's like, you might want to take a minute to consider the choice you're making. He just sounds really awkward. Like he's trying to sound angry, but it's not entirely coming across because he has insecurities. Or at least that's what I get out of it. Which is a really interesting thing about the Kingpin. Because the Kingpin I'm familiar with, you know, from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, for example. He's like this calm, collected crime boss, kind of like Falcone, which would have made the Kingpin in live action here really cliche. So in Daredevil, they made him really three-dimensional. They gave the Kingpin layers, and I saw some of those layers shine through in this Hawkeye finale. Some of them, not all of them. But the way he talks was definitely one of them. Vincent D'Onofrio did say that, yeah, this is the same Kingpin from the Daredevil series, so it makes sense. D'Onofrio also said that the Hawaiian shirt was his idea, which... no, I just wasn't feeling that. That did not seem menacing to me at all. I was like, this is the Kingpin. We're supposed to be scared of this dude. This is not scary at all. Or at least it wasn't to me. I like the cane though, that was cool. But it turns out that the asshole all along in this series was Eleanor Bishop, Vera Farmiga, Kate Bishop's mother. Yeah, I did not see that coming. That's actually not a bad twist if you ask me. She's the one who killed Armand Duquesne III in the second episode, I think it was. Or was it the first? The first week. Elena sends the footage of Eleanor and Kingpin talking to Kate. And so Kate's like, oh shit, my mom's the asshole. Yeah, Jack, I think we all owe Jack an apology. Cause from the beginning I was like, that guy's a dick. I mean, cause that's how he was made to look in the show. He was made to look like the asshole, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, sorry, Jack Duquesne. You and your Three Musketeers mustache can stay for now. You're alright. More on him later. So we're getting ready for the big climactic battle at the end that's been teased since the first trailer. The big throwdown at Rockefeller Center. I like this montage actually where Clint is like, yep, Kate, you're my partner. Pretty quick change in mindset there, Clint, but... alright, I'm glad we're there now. And so they're working on putting together the trick arrows. I like the fact that they're labeling them too. That's really useful. Like Kate suggested a couple episodes ago. Looking at those labels, I was like, oh, this final fight's gonna be awesome. And then Kate tells Clint about the time she saw him when she was a kid. And I love what she says here, because this to me pretty much envelops the entire point of Hawkeye, just in general. She was like, I saw you fighting aliens with a stick and a string. And you showed complete bravery. It shows us that we can be superheroes without superpowers. We don't have to be able to fly. We don't need super strength. All we need is the courage to fight. I was like, yes, preach. I love it. Cause yeah, that is the point of Hawkeye. He's a superhero without superpowers. I mean, talk about inspiring right there. That's some good shit. And so now we're at the Bishop holiday party at Rockefeller Center, and everyone has come to join. Clint is there, Kate is there, those LARPers are there. Elena shows up, and we have yet another throwdown with her and Kate Bishop. And again, these two just have excellent chemistry. I love the scene where they're in the elevator. It's like they're standing there, and then they fight for like a brief second, and then they just stand there again. You can tell, like, they don't want to hurt each other because they're finding a kindred spirit in each other. They're both young fighters, skilled in martial arts. They get along very well. But honestly, it's the fact that Elena is pulling her punches. Cause think about it, she's a Black Widow assassin. If she wanted to lay Kate Bishop out, she would've. Cause that's what Elena's been her entire life, right? Like, aren't Black Widows the most deadly assassins on Earth? So I really feel like it should not have been any contest. I feel like Elena could have kicked Kate's ass. But she likes Kate Bishop, so she doesn't. I mean, we know that Elena's not a bad person. She was just hired for a job, which was not to kill Kate Bishop, so she doesn't have to kill Kate Bishop. And since she likes Kate Bishop, that's why she didn't kill her. Or at least that's how I'm gonna see it. Cause again, I feel like this is just the beginning for these two. Or at least I hope so, cause I love them together. Alright, then the tracksuit mafia comes and people start fighting. Jack Duquesne comes in with his sword, and he's like, I'm gonna help you out. And we're like, okay, yeah, you're a good guy, that's cool. Sorry for doubting you, although you are just straight up killing folks. He's slashing them with his sword, just fling, fling. I was like, they're dead. But he's doing it for the good guys, so it's cool. And the LARPers are trying to evacuate everyone out of the building, and they're like, yeah, this attire is not getting it done. And at that point, I was watching this with my brother. We both looked at each other, and we were like, oh no. And sure enough, they come strolling out looking like Lady Sif in the Warriors 3. I was like, oh my god. Look, I don't know how many people are going to agree with me on this or not, but this is stupid. Yeah, this is easily my least favorite thing in the entirety of the Hawkeye series, these LARPers. I don't know why, they just seem really lame. Again, I have nothing against cosplay, hell, I've always wanted to give it a try, but LARPing is, like I said, on another level entirely. Just, there's a line, you know? Or at least that's how I see it. Sorry if I offended anyone. But yeah, I just thought this was bad. I like the part where Clint Barton is in the tree, and then Kate's like, I'm gonna get you out of that tree. And I was like, okay, she's gonna bring the tree down. We saw the collapsed tree in the trailer, and when she brought it down, I was like, timber! I actually yelled that out loud. And then sure enough, like 2 seconds later, Kate Bishop's like, timber. I was like, see, Haley Steinfeld? You see how perfect we are for each other? We think the same. And so yeah, the tree comes down. And now we have the big action scene where Kate and Clint are taking on all these tracksuit mafia members with their awesome outfits. I do think those outfits look pretty cool, all things considered. And so they're using all these trick arrows. They look really cool. One of them freezes a guy's leg. I like the needle one. It just spins and all these needles come out. That was funny. The funniest one was the jetpack one. Like Kate shoots it at this guy and he just goes, whee! That made me laugh out loud. And the whole thing ends with the van coming towards them, and Kate shoots another pim arrow at them, but this one shrinks the van, which is pretty funny. But then the weird CGI owl comes and carries them off. I was like, alright. They're off to Hogwarts, I guess. It's an owl. I thought that was a little weird. But then Elena comes to fight Clint, finally, and Echo comes to fight Kazi. Yeah, Echo turns good now, because of that shit Hawkeye told her in the last episode. I guess that was enough for her to be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck this mafia. I'm gonna go my own way. I honestly don't have too much of a problem with that, because she is pretty badass. Plus, I like her with her hair down. That's a good look for her. And also with Kazi. Like, when Kazi caught the arrow, I was like, yeah, right. He's gonna catch that. Yeah, I call bullshit on that. But with him, his character is not that interesting. So with this fight he has against Echo, I was like, okay, either he's going to take her side in the end and join her and be another character in the Echo series, or he's gonna die here and Echo's gonna kill him. It ends up going that second route. Yeah, Echo straight up kills Kazi. I was like, oh shit, alright. That's kind of tragic. I mean, shit, they were pretty close friends. I mean, I didn't really care for Kazi as a character particularly, but I have a heart. I felt bad for Echo. I mean, Kazi did say, yeah, this is my life. I'm pretty much trapped in this mafia. So I guess the only way to free him was to kill him. I guess. Alright, well, that does suck for Maya. Now, for all we know, she's gonna be all by her lonesome. And then we also have the Clint versus Elena fight, which of course, yeah, this is where it all comes through. Clint tries to explain to Elena that, yeah, Natasha sacrificed herself, and of course, Elena's not believing it at first, so it leads to a fight, and yeah, she ends up beating the shit out of him at a point. She's just going to town like, you're lying, stop lying! I was like, jeez. Yeah, she was just not believing a word that was coming out of Clint's mouth, until he does that whistle from the Black Widow movie. That's the thing that kind of snaps Elena out of it. And what can I say? I liked it. I liked the fact that Clint actually got through to Elena. And they hash things out and they're both like, we miss Natasha very much. We love her. And so Elena's like, alright, we're cool. I'm gonna leave. Which, alright, I'm wondering what that means for her, since technically that means she failed her assignment. I wonder how Valentina's gonna react to that. I mean, at this point, we don't know where Yelena Belova's gonna show up again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I don't know what's gonna happen with her next. I hope she pops up again soon, though, because I really like her as a character. I guess we'll see, eventually. And then Kate Bishop goes up against Kingpin, which, yeah, you're like, dude, Kate Bishop, you're gonna get your nutsack kicked in. Because this is Kingpin. Another thing I really like about him is that he's huge. And it's not like he's a big fat guy. No, that's all muscle. He's a big, really strong man. That's the Kingpin. So yeah, of course he's gonna take Kate and toss her into walls. Although I will say Kingpin does survive a lot of things in this fight. I mean, Kate straight up shoots him with an arrow and he's like, yeah, I'll take that out. I was like, okay, probably wearing a bulletproof vest or something. Then he gets slammed by a car, which really came out of nowhere. I feel like we should have heard it coming. But he gets up from that and keeps fighting. Then Kate does the snapping trick with one of his cufflinks and sets off the chain reaction with the arrows. And there's this big explosion with the sonic blasts and the cluster things, and Kingpin is still fine after that. I was like, yeah, well, I mean, again, that is the Kingpin. He's a really strong dude. He can take a lot of hits. That's just the character. And even later when he goes up against Echo, when Echo confronts him, she has a pistol. She holds it right up to his face. And he's all like, you and I are family. We don't always see eye to eye. And then the camera pans up, so we don't see what happens, but we hear a gunshot. So yeah, at first I was like, is Kingpin dead? Is that all we're gonna get of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in the MCU proper? That would be a bummer. But after thinking about it, I honestly don't think Kingpin is dead. I don't know how they're gonna swing it, but I feel like Kingpin will return. Probably in the Echo series if I had to guess. Again, I guess we'll just have to see what happens. So alright, now the big fight is over. Jack gets asked to join the LARPers, which I was like, boo. Although that could be where he gets his swordsman outfit. there is that. Cause yeah, I will say that the only thing the LARPers were really good for in this show, at least in my opinion, was their costume design. Cause I thought those Hawkeye outfits looked pretty cool. So now we're at the epilogue of the show. Clint Barton makes it home for Christmas, and he brings his strays with him. Kate Bishop comes along, and the dog, newly named Lucky, is also there. So yay, happy reunion for Christmas. Victory! And the watch, alright. That Rolex watch turns out to be Laura's old S.H.I.E.L.D. property, I guess. Yeah, we learned that Laura Barton used to be a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but even seeing that S.H.I.E.L.D. logo again, I was like, damn, it's been years since I've seen that logo. I don't know, it made me feel nostalgic in a weird way, I guess. Clint and Kate burn the Ronin suit, which I'm actually glad about. I'm glad that Clint can leave that part of his life behind him. And then Kate Bishop starts coming up with superhero names for herself, like Lady Hawk or whatever. My brother was like, how about Hawk Girl? To which I was like, that's pretty good, but it's taken. And then Clint Barton's like, hey, I have an idea. And that's where the episode ends. So yeah, it's implied that Kate Bishop takes over the mantle of Hawkeye. Which, if that is the implication, that probably means that this was Jeremy Renner's last romp as Clint Barton. The mantle of Hawkeye has now gone from Clint Barton to Kate Bishop. And Clint Barton can now rest easily in retirement with his family. I think he's deserved it. And so, that is the end of Marvel Studios' Hawkeye. I mean, yeah, we do have a little mid-credits thing, but it's nothing important. It's just Save the City, that song from Rogers the Musical. Yeah, now we get a full version of that song, the full footage, which I was like, yeah, I don't really care about this at all. I think the biggest thing people have a problem with about this finale is that it tied up all the loose ends. It actually gave some resolution with every character, and it didn't leave anything open for the future, not even after the credits. And yeah, I absolutely would have loved to have seen a post-credits scene that hinted towards future events, for sure. In fact, this is the first Marvel Studios thing that doesn't do that since Endgame. So yeah, that does feel a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. But that being said, I still really enjoyed Hawkeye. It's not my favorite thing we've gotten from the MCU this year, but it was certainly really enjoyable. I love the characters. Clint Barton was really cool in this show. I love Kate Bishop. She's a welcome addition to the MCU, and I'm really curious about her future, as well as Elena Belova's future. I want to see where our new Black Widow and Hawkeye end up going next. I find that pretty exciting. I will say some of the pacing throughout this season was definitely a little wonky, and also Christoph Beck's score wasn't particularly memorable, at least not compared to his scores for WandaVision or Ant-Man. So I like this little series. It does have some problems, but still enjoyable overall. So, the finale of Hawkeye, titled So This Is Christmas. Have you watched it yet? What do you think about it? What do you think about this season as a whole? And where do you think we might see Kate Bishop and or Elena Belova next? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm actually headed to my dad's for the next few days for Christmas. So no, I won't be seeing The King's Man or The Matrix Resurrections. Besides, I heard bad things about both. But I will have my next video up within a week. Until then, for all those who celebrate, have a very Merry Christmas. Peace.